Hi Floss Tube, it's Sylvia, and my channel is called Running with Needles and Scissors. It is Saturday, the 25th of April. It is now 4:35 in the afternoon. I am sitting outside in our atrium, and I am enjoying the really nice weather that we have here. I've stitched out here a little bit. You can see the house door is open. Mia's out here with me. My husband's taking a nap, so Millie is with him. And that's good because she's the one that always dashes out barking like crazy when she hears something. And since we live in Midtown, we live in the city, it's a small city, so it's not like a lot of stuff is happening out in front of our house, but we do live in town, and so people do walk by. And Millie, I don't know how she hears a dog, but she does. Even when we're upstairs, she can hear the dogs walking by, even though they're not barking or anything like that. And she just, when the door's open, she just dashes down and outside and barks like crazy, which we try to prevent, but sometimes we don't catch her fast enough. Anyways, so first off, I really wanted to thank you guys for just the lovely comments. I have not read them all. Most certainly haven't answered, but I am going to. I'll get to that. Work has been challenging. My colleague in England is being furloughed, so he's going to be off for a little while, and that's a little rough for us. We have a lot of work to do, so we were working on the handover last week, and I'm taking over a lot of his responsibilities. My colleague in the U.S. as well, but there's such a time difference that some of it doesn't make sense for her to handle. But so I'm getting a lot of extra workload. Yeah, and we'll see. The group I work for is a charity. I've mentioned that, and we are 100% dependent on donations. So when things really go down steeply, of course, we get hit quickly and directly. My organization supports persecuted Christians around the globe in countries where they are persecuted, where it's dangerous to be a Christian, and they need help more than ever now. They get a lot of or encounter a lot of discrimination also when it comes to aid and help, food packets, etc. They're the last, if at all. And so part of our move now is to try to preserve as much money as we can to send on to the field. So I understand it, and thank goodness here in Europe we have a fairly good net to catch us, social net, and so he'll be fine. It is not permanent. I suspect that we might be rotating, so when they bring him back, they may send me off into furlough. But we'll see. We'll have to take it as it comes. So I'm behind on comment reading. Oh, excuse me, I'm gonna cough. I don't usually do allergies. Ooh, I gotta drink something. All right, a little bit better. I don't usually do the allergy bit, but this season has been really bad, and even I'm feeling some of it. So my husband's really suffering. All right, well, leave it at that. Now let's continue on with the whip parade, but I will do the giveaway for today first. Let's see. Hold on. All right. It's going to be from the Scarlet House, Emma Mills, 1839. I don't think this one got a lot of traction for her. It's a really sweet, sweet sampler. I'm just not one to do numbers and letters. It's not my favorite. They're an integral part of a sampler, and just to do one full of numbers and letters. So I looked at my stash as I was sorting out, and I said, I probably will never stitch this. So it's up for grabs, and the keyword is Emma. So you don't have to make a sentence with Emma if you want to. It'll be fun reading for me, but you can just, at the end of your comment, write Emma. The second giveaway was Sampler Roundy for the video number 2, or B. And this is complete as the Kitten Stitcher has packed it up. So the special edition floss is in here, the instructions, the antique button, and you have to provide the linen, as it says in the front. And it's a little shop worn as it's been moved several times across the ocean to boot. So it's an awkward packaging, you know. So if it was pasted on there, it probably would have held up a lot better. But since the corners stick out, they're just bent. But other than that, it is in pristine condition on the inside, and that's what counts. And the first giveaway is Mary Good, 1827. This comes from Sassafras Samplers, and this is courtesy of Sassy Jacks. Because her customer service is so outstanding, when my order had a snafu in it and this was the wrong sampler, she just said, just keep it and I'll send you the right one, and I'd like to pass this on. I already have this one. So the word, for Sampler Roundy, the word is cat, and for this sampler, it's sassy, and that needs to go under the first video A. Okay, so let's get going. I have my whips piled up here, and the first one is, okay, so we're gonna get a mix of whips and just kitted up stuff that I put in a bag if I had it available, because you know, it was high on my radar, and my radar is more of like a 7-year immediate radar. It's it's the slow stitcher radar. My friend from Cozy Egg, Michelle, and I, we talked this morning. We messenger via video, or we use the video function on Messenger. It's Saturday mornings for me, Friday nights for her, and she stays up super late, and we just chat and stitch, and it's been really nice. It's something I look forward to every week. Okay, so in here, this is such a beautiful, beautiful sampler. I fell in love with it right when I saw it. It's Plum Street Samplers, 1,000 Hills. And it is darling. The only thing that's not so darling, I mean, it looks great, but you know, that I'm going, is the grass down at the bottom. So I asked the attic to kit it up on itty bitty linen, 5260, and high count linen, and this will come out to be 6.5 by 6 inches once it's done. Here are the colors, Tudor Silks. They are super beautiful. Tudor Silks are, I mean, Gloriana stuff is just gorgeous. Well, let's not flip through them one by one because we don't have that much time. Okay, and so, oops, let's see if we can see what's stuck in the middle. And a lot of green because we need green, and then here on this end are the reds. Trying to get it to you without too much glare. Anyways, super high on the radar. Then, similar bag, same bag really. So there's a little story behind these bags. In here is Birds of a Feather, Love, Honesty, Loyalty, and Patience. They're long out of print. So when Michelle was over here and we went to Paris, we also went to Austria. And one of the shops we stopped at was a traditional garb shop. So they wear dirndls and lederhosen in Austria and all that. And they really do wear them still to this day for Sunday, to go to church, for weddings, Christmas, you know, special occasions. And these things are expensive and intricate. And so this shop would make them to order to you, so they, you know, they custom make you one. This would be like skirt material, part of the skirt and bodice. And then, you know, usually there's a blouse underneath. But so they had all these bolts of fabric, so I bought a meter or something like that, or 3/4 of a meter of the fabric, and I made us bags. There's a little bit of a Edelweiss button to keep in with the theme anyways on this one, and this is the interior fabric. And I had enough to make 2 for me, and Michelle has 1. So these are long out of print. I mentioned that. I'm so sorry. And there's Honesty. Yeah, see George Washington with the axe. There is Loyalty. See the dogs? Perfect for me too. Here is, this way, Love. And the last one is Patience. Oh, there we go. Let's go this way. And I think the little girl is in timeout. Or maybe she's stitching, I can't tell. She just looks unhappy. I think she's in timeout. Check her out. Anyways, so I don't have fabric with this. I pulled, it's hard to see now, the way this is, I've pulled just various flosses, silk flosses that I had that appealed to me for this. And I'll work on fabric later. Oh, here comes the black. It's hooked on. So you can see it's just a variety. Now, I know how it's going to be finished. I found in the big trash, I found this is black. It's an antique black, so it's got a little bit of variegation in it. No, you can't see it. I found a blackboard in a very rustic frame, and it had 4 openings on the top, and I think the bottom has hooks, and it's down in the cellar. But it's really cool, and it's big and sturdy, and so I thought these 4 up top would be really fun. I don't know what I would use the blackboard portion for. This is like a blue-black. What did I want to use them for? I'd have to count. Oh, it's for, no, wood smoke maybe? Or black crow? Or there's black crow, soot, and wood smoke in here. So there's a lot of different ones. This one's really pretty, but it's probably not going to show up. It's got a lot of blue and black in it. Really pretty. Some golds. Sorry for they tend to unwind as they roll around in there. I think this is the flesh color, another red, and a brown. There we go. So I am really excited to do that one. That thing that I found is really great. It's probably vintage or antique-y. Sorry, I've got a frog in my throat. I had to clear my throat the whole time. There we go. This is kitted, not started. This is Plum Street Samplers Jack's Bash. When I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh, that is so, so cool. So here is the pattern. I have a friend, Robert Harris, some of you might know him. He's the most fantastic stitcher that I know. Fast, prolific, does outstanding work, beautiful samplers. And he just cranks them out like they're popcorn. Anyway, so what he did is he took some of the flowers from the border and stuck them, just the floral part, a few in here, and it looks so, so good. So I dyed, and vintaged, grunged up some fabric. Here it is. You can see my grunginess. Needs a good ironing before I start. And then I have a scissor jail on this bag. Now this bag is one that I made specifically for Michelle because she loves, now what is this? Sugar skulls, there we go. And I found this fabric and I was like, okay, yeah, that's for her, but when I make one, I might as well make 2. So that's how I ended up with one. And since it's the theme of Jack's Bash, I don't know if these are all of them, but probably, I'm assuming it's all. So these are probably all the called for. And let me hold up what looks like a rag, seriously. It's good that it's in the bag because my husband would grab it to clean with because that's what it looks like. So that's what the floss looks like on it. Excited, I think this is such a fun stitch. I know it is, I can see it, I mean I can feel it already. Immediate radar, 7-year immediate radar. There are so many things I want to stitch. So I think I started telling you, making a point here about my 7-year slow stitching, radar, as I was talking to Michelle this morning. And it was like, how do people crank out so much so fast? I don't know. And I'm just astounded, and especially the ones that work. I don't have hardly any time. And she was saying, yeah, I know, she goes, I don't understand it. And I said, that if we were going to be fast stitchers, we've been stitching long enough, we'd be that by now, and we're not. So I guess we're just going to have to resign ourselves. We're just slow stitchers and just enjoy the process. And, I think the frustration just comes from that there's so much we want to stitch that we just can't get to. So, but we just have to live extra long. So, this is a bag. This was like my first try at a bag. I just wanted to make a sample, and I didn't even put fusible inner, the fleece in it. That's what I used to make my bags, is fusible fleece. So it's just but it's cute enough, and it protects the project. So I didn't see any reason why to toss it. It doesn't have a button, nothing. It's just a little pouch. And in here, is with thy needle and thread, birds of a feather. I didn't watch the video yet, but I just saw Linda Jo from Pretty Southern was holding hers up. She's done with it. I got mine when it was first released through Needlecraft Corner, who has excellent service. And this must be 40 count probably. Oh, I forgot to bring down a board, and I'm sitting in the sun a little bit. So this is on Oh, it's not, I can't. I'd have to dig it out to see on what fabric this is being stitched on. Don't know. Confederate gray. It's definitely Weeks linen. Anyways, this is as far as I am. And here are the flosses. You've probably seen them on other people's. It's quite a bit greener than what it's showing up, so. See? But it is pretty. It's a pretty sampler. So, need to get back to this. Like, really need to get back to this. All right. And gather it all up, back in the bag. And then there's this. Oh, okay. So this is the bag I made in a different style. It has a ruffle up here. Ruffle's a little kerfluffled, but so a ruffle. It's open, has little handles, has some Velcro that just keeps it shut. And this was I made for my friends. We were all going to stitch Sparrow together. His eye is on the Sparrow. I don't think any one of us has finished so far. And so the bag is now housing a different project. Since I am working on Sparrow, I took, the floss is out and in rotation because the whole project most certainly doesn't fit in here. So this is Sally Spencer by Birds of a Feather. I'm not sure if this is out of print or not. I think it was hard to get for a while because Olivia from, why did the name just leave me? Pumpkin Hollow Quilts announced that she wanted to do a Sal last year, and I was all for it. I was like, I've loved this sampler and I've always wanted to stitch it, so yes, I am so in. Beginning, it was June or July. I grabbed my favorite linen, which is the sand that I've antiqued, so you can see. This is Zweigart sand. It's changed its name since. I think it's light mocha, but don't quote me. So that's that. And then, of course, true to form, I have hand-dyed fiber that I pulled. And this one was hard to settle on some colors. And these spools, they really do look a mess, but they're so nice to work with. So they unspool themselves. And I should have put them in plastic bags. They hold up better that way. So here is my red, and it's like a black and a peach, which has like peach and a little orange, and the blue, which I think is beautiful. And they look fantastic on the linen. You're just gonna have to take my word for it because I can't toss, show you. And these are the other two colors. So, I haven't even gotten as far as putting it on a floss tag, but I didn't start. It's been in there, but this is like super high on the immediate radar, maybe 5 years. We'll see. But in 5 years, there's going to be 5 markets and more stuff coming out that I want to stitch. And yeah, so put that in. There we go. A mesh bag, when mesh bags were all the rage, so I did that. True to form, my fabric is going sideways, but only because I had such a little piece, and I didn't have much fabric at the time. So I'm like, okay, this little blackbird design piece, I'm gonna use it anyways, and I don't care that it goes this way. It would have been nice if it had gone that way, but it was not to be. So, this is one of my favorite samplers. You can still find this eBay, maybe Amazon sometimes. This is Treasures in Needlework. It's the spring 1993, so it's really old. It's got an interesting article about Dawn Bradford and all her samplers. Fun stuff. There's more pictures, but that's not what we're about. What is her company's name? Well, maybe in 1993 she didn't have, she's Sheepish Design as far as I know, as far as I remember. All right. And those are great samplers from Sheepish Design. This is not Sheepish Design. This is from Sandy Orton. This is the American sampler done in it's not a reproduction, it's not imitation, but it's done in the style of, I think, the Balch school samplers, but somebody can, yes, Mary Balch. So this is so cool. This is such a fantastic, intricate, full of specialty stitches sampler. So fun, lovely colors. Definitely, this will be a lifetime achievement, like some of the other big samplers. This is big, but it's also very intense. So it's not huge, but it's a good size sampler. I'm stitching this. I think it's on a 30. It calls for 25 count. I refuse to stitch with. If I don't need to stitch with 2 strands, I'm not. So it's on a 36 count or 35 count. And I said it calls for 25 count. I hope I said that right. If I didn't, I've just repeated myself. And that's the back. Here's the front. Let me fold this up. So this is cut to size on 36 count. It's a big one. But I think 36 count, it still leaves me enough room to do the specialty stitches. And so this is my teeny weeny start, but just the vine and a little bit of the border. This was just getting my feet wet, seeing like, oh yeah, I do love it. I gotta get back to it. This is did I say it was a Witchelt? Now I'm losing track, but it's a stiffer linen, but I think it's gonna be very good for this type of work. And it doesn't need to be a fancy linen either because it's really almost full coverage. There's very little of the linen, of the ground linen showing, so I love that. I love, yeah, no, Let me show you the flosses. So there's a lot of them. There are a lot of them. Sorry. Grab them and see if I can heft them out of here. These are on floss tags, but not on a ring, which I should do. But when I really seriously start stitching on it, I will do that. Oh, and they like to tangle at the bottom. But let's see, this one's these are going and one's falling. It always makes such a good impression when your flosses are all tangled. They're not really, they're just curly and kinky. Okay, so what are we doing here? There we go. And turn them around because I cannot, if I try to spread them, holy moly, we won't. And then they have static cling. This is, where do they get static cling from? All right, maybe from me petting them, so I mean, seriously, it's already happened once. I don't understand it. Let's straighten out the red here, get a little bit better. Woo. All right, people. I just like, the more I pet, the more staticky they become, so I gotta stop. So you get the idea. Beautiful, lots of colors. And then with it came the hand-dyed ribbon that goes around it. There's a purple ribbon that goes right around the sampler. And this is gorgeousness. It's a silk ribbon. I must stitch faster. I don't know how though. Hints would be tips, hints. I stitch in hand. I stitch in a frame with 2 hands. I stitch Q-snap, hoop, bars. I stitch every which way. I'm fine with every method. I'm just not fast. I'm faster, it's true, I'm faster in hand, but then what happens, I sometimes get or it happens more frequently in hand than it does when I have stuff on a hoop, or, you know, if it's stretched, I will accidentally get three threads, and I'm off. And it happens, like I said, way more frequently when I stitch in hand. With a sewing method, that's what I use. All right, and then it's not faster because I have to go back and fix my mistake. Another, no, I think I said I made this. I did not. A friend of mine made this as a going away present, and I just bought my friend's this little horn book with our initials on it to attach. And this has a variety, let's see how much variety of blackbird design projects. Summer basket. That's a nice one. I don't know if I even I started it. Okay, Laura. This, I'll show you. I'm mentioning your name, Laura, because I think I call you my spirit animal, but you're not an animal, so but I certainly channel you at times. 36 count Edinburgh linen, caramel cream, and this is by Sassy's hand painted fabrics. I've mentioned her a couple times. I don't think she dyes anymore. So, there's the start. Yepers. Here are the flosses. They're pretty. Nicely packaged. Sometimes I guess I had my act together and I packaged them up nicely. They're held together by a twisty. You know, that was before all the bling and rings and whatnot. So there's that one. Oh, maybe, I have no idea. Oh, maybe that was for the little blank for this one. I don't know. But it's definitely not a higher, it's definitely a lower count linen. Oh, yeah. Okay, so this is my working copy. I believe it's in the book. It's a book. This is Summer Jubilee. Yes, it's definitely out of the book because it's got page 6 on it. So I love it so much. I love it so much. Here are my flosses, all neat and tidy, laying on here. Have I started this? I had dyed this fabric myself. Don't ask me how I did this. No, I haven't started this. I love the color. It's reading a little bit more purple, but it's not. It's pretty, not black, but a chalkboard black. And it's gonna look so, yeah, it's definitely, okay, you're seeing purple, so I'm sorry, but it's not. Those are the colors on it. That's not started, but it's obviously really high on my radar because I even went down and dyed some fabric. This has to be 40 count, and oh yeah, that was me. But thank goodness this is in the margin. I got a little. You have to really make sure, especially if you're using powdered dyes, that you shake, and stir for a long time. Every time I think I'm like, oh, I'm good now, and I can put the fabric in it, I end up with a little intense spot where the dye did not dissolve properly. Okay, so this again was Summer Jubilee. I will put down in the notes from which book this comes from, because I don't know. This is Loose Feathers number 9. It's my working copy. I apologize because it's a bad copy. But this is Sunflower House. And I believe I dyed this fabric also and actually got, holy moly, don't ask me what happened there. Okay, I got going, oh, it's on the back. Okay, so it's a pretty, this must be 36 count. So I got going on it, barely, and you see, I always have a needle hanging. It's like I'm a hot mess, people. So I don't even bother tucking the needle in because sometimes it rusts if things aren't completely, I've had needles come out and they were a little rusty. So I should take my needles out completely. Summer House. And I'm not going to take the flosses out because they're all on little, oh, I can't show you because the pattern. Never mind. I'm glad I didn't pick it up far enough. They're all on little spools, so it's really difficult to show those. And we're coming to the end of my, well, not really. This is my start of Christmas Garden. I think this is cedar plank, vintage cedar plank. I think I bought this at the attic. And then I pulled my flosses accordingly. And these are all the colors. So I just stitched enough to get all the colors in to see if I liked it or not. And I do, and there. The question now is, oh yeah, they're in here. Okay, so wheat fields, pomegranate, apple cider, and piney woods. Was it? I'm wondering if it was the attic where I got this, or the stitch niche. Could have been either one, I don't know, but let me lay the flosses on there. They look great. Immediate radar. What is this? Wild berries? Oh my gosh. Some of it I can't show because maybe I just have the pattern. Okay, and this is, it's berry time. I love the little strawberry. Definitely doing that one, but I'm stitching this one over one. I don't know if I ever showed this, but maybe I did. I would stitch over 2 is what I'm going to end up having to do, if at all. If not, I'll just use regular cross stitch. And this is an R&R linen. And let's get the thread out of view. There we go. So that's how far I am. Anyways, I think this is out of print. So it might take me a while to upload this one because I'm going to have to cut out that little bit where I held up the pattern. This is... Ooh, I hear a dog. Hi. Hey, you want to say hi to me? Oops, stay here. Come on. Pop up. 1, 2, 3. Here is Millie. She's gotten up out of bed. She's well rested, and for some odd reason, there's some floss hanging on her. I don't know how that happens. So, yeah. Hi. Okay. she always comes, you know, and the look of her on her face is like, oh, I found you. It's like, yes, you did. Yes, you did. All right, now she's, oh, she loves the camera. I forgot to say that. She really likes being photographed and whatnot. And maybe I don't know if she figures it out or what. All right, you gotta get down because I gotta finish up. All right? Or just sit then here for a minute, and this is the last thing we're doing. Upla, careful, don't fall down. Okay, sit down, that's good. And is there anything else in here that I can show you? Where? That's it. So that, I know, yes. That is the end of this video, the whip, and I believe that I can finish up the rest of them. What I'll try to do is tomorrow, because then I will pull I will let the app do its work and do the drawing for the freebies next Friday, which is May 1st, and that's when I'm going to cover my progress on the stuff that I'm working on now that's going to just get tossed aside for Mania, and what my first week of Mania projects are going to be like, because I've changed my mind a little bit on some things. So I've added new things to the basket, and I've decided to do it a little differently. I was thinking about it, so I'll talk about that next Friday. All right, my friends, I hope you are staying sane and healthy, and that you're wearing your masks when you go out, and stay happy, healthy, and terrific until we see each other, hopefully tomorrow. Bye.